Alright, and we're here. What's going on, everybody? It's your least favorite ghost here, back with another video. It's early today, so I'm trying to bang out some videos while no one's at the house. Everyone's away, so now it's time to make some content for once. I have some free time. So today, if you're seeing this on YouTube, we're going to be discussing the big bad Buster Blader himself, and then just going over the deck, some decision making, replays, all that. So yeah, let's get into it. And then if you're on the stream, we're going to be doing the Buster Blader review. We're going to be looking at the new box, and then I'm going to make a ban list prediction before the KC Cup comes out. So all that stuff's going to be pretty fun. Anyways, let's go into Buster Blader, because it's been a little while since I posted Buster Blader. But anyway, we're going to go here. You probably already saw the deck build already, which is fine. But I do have to kind of like warn people on this deck in particular. Buster Blader is not like an absolute out to all dragon decks forever at the end of time. It is really good against dragon decks. It's a pretty hard counter, but you still need to open Buster Blader Infusion and hopefully not die to back row. So what I'm doing right here real quick is I'm just going to my first build that's in the replays. So the build actually looked like this. And then we'll go and discuss like the second build, like kind of like my final optimized build. And we'll go from there. So anyways, obviously we're running Winda. Probably, I don't know if this is our best card in the deck. I think the best card might actually be the credit card, to be honest, because the final build is running 3 Book of Moon, unfortunately, for you guys out there. And to make it even worse, I only spent $37 for 3 copies of Book of Moon. That's pretty disgusting. So anyways, on to Winda. So Winda, you probably know her, hater, lover, whatever. So Winda is like our stall into our actual strategy, which is get a fusion up with DNA surgery and just pierce people in the nuts. But yeah, so Winda, when it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon another ritual beast monster from your deck or extra deck. So that's either Ulti Pelio, Petalfin, or another Winda. But you can only special summon Winda once per turn. So you can go, like, if Winda gets destroyed, you can go Winda into Winda and then into Pengu. Which I guess I'll just discuss now. Pengu cannot be destroyed by card effects. Has 2800 defense, pretty good. And then we have Ulti Pelio, which is unaffected by card effects when it swings. So there you go. And then they both have like kind of secondary effects where if you have 2 ritual beasts in the banish zone, you can tag out as a quick play, which is pretty nice. So sometimes you might end up having to sit on Ulti Pelio and then swap out for Windas. You can summon 2 Windas at the same time though, using the ritual beast like fusion effect. So that's a thing. Alright, so that's our Winda. We're going to go to our Buster Whelp Destruction of the Destruction Swordsman. Probably, besides the credit card and Winda, probably our 3rd best card, surprisingly, even though it's a level 1 with 400 attack and 300 defense. This one searches most of your deck. So when you normal summon it, you can search for Buster Blader Destruction Swordsman, your fusion spell, your banish spell. And then we also play like, because I do run this in like tournament format, we also side deck this guy here, Robo Buster, the Destruction Sword. But yeah. So normal summons search for your Destruction Sword stuff. You contribute it to special summon a Buster Blader from your hand or graveyard. So it's really good. Also, it's a tuner, so we do have just a level 8 synchro in here, thrown in here. This is probably better replaced with Scrap Dragon, but I don't know. I never make the rank 8 or the level 8 synchro. So I just threw that in there just because I could. So that's about it for Whelp. Oh, it also has a third effect, which like very rarely comes up, but you can special summon it from the grave if you have a Buster Blader on field, not the fusion. By discarding a Destruction Sword card. That effect rarely comes up because most of the time, if you have like Buster Blader out, I mean, there's like very few situations where if just your Buster Blader like is out and it survives the turn somehow, that you can bring this out of the grave, because you can't use it's like special summoning a Buster Blader effect in the same turn as bringing it out of the grave. So just keep that in mind. So we're playing one Buster Blader Destruction Swordsman. So this guy here is searchable off of the Whelp. And it becomes Buster Blader in the graveyard or field. So its name just becomes Buster Blader. Also, if you destroy a monster by battle or card effect and send it to the graveyard, you can equip it to this guy. Now, he doesn't get the effect of like OG Buster Blader, where you get 500 for each dragon type monster in the field or graveyard. But the equip effect can come up here and there. Sometimes you might want to like equip a white stone to this guy to prevent your opponent from bringing on a blue eyes. It's kind of funny versus Satellar Knights to like equip their stuff so that way they can't float into other things. So yeah. But the reason why I was playing this for a little while is just because it's another way. This normal summon allows me to grab a Buster Blader, even though like I can't bring it out immediately, because you actually cannot tribute Whelp for Destruction Swordsman out of the hand. Out of the graveyard you can. So sometimes if I open up like Whelp Karma, which I'll go into a little bit later, you can dump this guy from your hand to the graveyard. So anyways, we're playing 2 OG Buster Blader, hates dragons. 500 attack for each dragon your opponent controls in the graveyard. So versus Blue Eyes, he gets very big. And we need him to make our fusions. But we typically don't really swing with him just vanilla like this ever. It does come up though. So this build that you're going to see in the replays was playing 1 Book of Moon. I ended up throwing in all 3 of my books at some point. Book of Moon, quick play, target a face at monster field, flip it face down. Counters Noble Knights, Fire Kings, the entire meta. It's got a lot of uses. You can flip down your monster for Karma Cut. Just a bunch of different garbage. Like, this card has a lot of utility offensively and defensively. We're running 2 Forbidden Lance because even though we have a very, very good matchup versus Blue Eyes, 1 Karma Cut on your fusion could change the whole game. So you got to run the Forbidden Lance. I think this is probably pretty essential here. And once I kind of explain the rest of the deck, I'll go into stuff that I think you can cut. So yeah. All right. We're running 2 of the Destruction Swordsman fusion. So this one allows you to go into your Buster Blader Destruction Swordsman. So what's really cool about this fusion spell in particular is, 1, it's a quick play, so you can use it on either turn, and 2, you can use your opponent's monsters. So with DNA Surgery, turning all your opponent's monsters into dragons, you can fuse. It's like a form of it's almost like how the Noble Knights can XC summon to get around stuff. So if they try to if an opponent tries to Raigeki break one of your monsters, and then you use Merlin to XC summon and make an XCs, and then you just dodge that. The same kind of concept with the fusion spell. Okay, so we're playing 2 World Legacy Clash. Now this card was clutch here and there. I would say it's also pretty bricky too. I probably would cut these. Well, I ended up cutting in my final build, I ended up cutting the Destruction Swords and a World Legacy Clash for 2 Book of Moon, which I'm starting to now that I'm kind of reading this deck off to the internet. I think maybe just cutting these for Book of Moon might be better. I think maybe having this might be a little bit better. Anyways, so we're playing 2 World Legacy Clash. I think I'm just playing this because this is probably like my favorite spell card. A lot of people think Book of Moon is awesome. I think World Legacy Clash is pretty dope. This card has like so much utility. So you banish a card. So the way it works is you banish a face-up monster you control. That's the cost. So that part of this effect cannot be negated. And then you banish it till the end of the turn. Then you target a monster on your opponent's side of the field, and you have it lose attack equal to the attack of the monster you banished. And because it's attack and defense modifier, that means you can use it on the damage step where like some monsters and spell and traps cannot respond to. So it's pretty nice. Especially like, let's say people try to swing into like, I've had it to where like people try to swing into like my Samurai Destroyer, and then I World Legacy Clash like a Buster Blader to have them lose 2600 attack, and then I just hit him in the face. So for lethal, pretty cool card. Sad that I would probably be putting this in every deck if it wasn't semi-limited, but that's why it's semi-limited, because this card is freaking insane. And it's a permanent loss of attack and defense, which is gross. So, cuttable card here, but like I said, I really, it's like one of my favorite cards, so I'm a little bit biased. Playing 2 Emblem of the Dragon Destroyer. Obviously, it's just very simple. Add a Buster Blader from your deck or graveyard to your hand. This is just recycling. And actually, speaking of recycling, I forgot to mention the other effect of Destruction Sword Fusion, which is you could discard a card to add this from your graveyard to your hand, which is really nice because, like I had mentioned earlier, you can you have to to get this out of the grave, you have to have a Buster Blader and a Destruction Sword something to discard. So typically, if you get a fusion off, you can dump Destruction Swordsman into the grave for your fusion and then bring it back with Whelp. So there you go. On to the Karma of the Destruction Swordsman. Now this card, like in old school Buster Blader, no one would run this. Like this was garbage. It's like it's even a normal card. Like so anyways, this card here, it says target up to 3 monsters of the same type in your opponent's graveyard, banish them. And if you do, Buster Blader or 1 Destruction Sword monster you control gains 500 attack and defense for each of those banished monsters until the end of this turn. If this card is in your graveyard, you can discard 1 Destruction Sword card, add this card to your hand. And you can only use each effect once per turn. So, like I had mentioned earlier, opening up Whelp with Karma, if you're going second, is pretty nice because you can go Whelp, add Destruction Swordsman, then banish whatever's in their graveyard to add it onto the Whelp, dump the Destruction Swordsman to add Karma back, and then bring the Destruction Swordsman out of the grave. Okay. And then probably like our crutch card that we have to run in this deck until we get like Buster Dragon or something, which I don't know if we'll ever get. DNA Surgery. So obviously we just flip this guy up and call Dragon, and then Noble Knights say GG. Alright, so we have that. On to the extra deck. Playing 3 of Buster Blader Destruction Swordsman. This guy fucking hates dragons, okay? So, you thought this guy hates dragons? No, this guy hates dragons. So, its requirements, 1 Buster Blader, 1 dragon type monster. So that's why we run the DNA Surgery and we run Destruction Sword Fusion. We fuse with their dragons as a form of removal, non-destruction, and I believe non-targeting as well. Because you can actually use this on Cocytus when it was legal. So you have to fusion summon it. Can't be special summoned by other ways. This card cannot attack directly. You don't need to. The reason being is because this card gains 1,000 attack and defense for each dragon type monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard. So versus Blue Eyes, I've seen this thing get as big as like 10,000 attack. Around there, like 9,800, 10,800, like very stupid high numbers. In a game where you only have 4,000 life, you only need one attack in. It also says here, change all dragon type monsters your opponent controls to defense position. Also, dragon type monsters in your opponent's possession cannot activate their effects. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. So, even if their monsters are sitting in defense, you can still kill them with piercing damage. That's why you run your really like complex combo with Buster Blader is going to be have Buster Blader up with DNA Surgery. Everything is dragons. They literally cannot do anything. They most of the time they can only interact with you with back row, and that's it. Back row is the only way that most decks can interact. There are like some little. I'm trying to think of like. So obviously he doesn't negate anything in grave. So like stuff like, well, that's still back row. Never mind. I was gonna say like Galaxy Cyclone, but doesn't matter. So we went over the big bad boy himself. He fucking hates dragons. You know, most of the time when you are fighting against Blue Eyes, you are going to just stomp them out if you open up one fusion and one Buster Blader or an emblem. Like, so a combination of this with this or this, and you're probably going to win, or they usually just quit right away when they see that. That being said, you know, you do need to get a little lucky with this deck, because in those non-dragon matchups, you are going to have to use, hopefully, top deck of DNA Surgery. We are running Destiny Draw to try not to die, and typically we Destiny Draw into DNA Surgery, or like, essentially our combo is this, this, and this. So usually we're going to Destiny Draw for one of these pieces that we're missing. We do need to hopefully open up at least two of them for the most part, and then Destiny Draw the third one if we can't stall the game out long enough with Winda to get that missing piece. Like I said, Stardust Spark Dragon, just a random like Synchro 8. I don't really play it. I don't think I've ever made it. It's just here. It's like a win more card, I guess. Its effect is like okay. You know, once per turn, target one face-up card you control during this turn. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. So I put in here just like as a little protection. I guess if I was to play against Cyber Dragon, maybe I would try to make it, but it's like so hard to get two normal summons out to like go into a Synchro 7. Not impossible. Synchro 8. It's not impossible, but it's super hard. All right, last card here, Samurai Destroyer. I always say this anytime I mention decks that can make synchros. If they can make a level 7, probably should put in Samurai Destroyer. This card alone can just take over games. I would not be surprised if it got a hit one day, because it is like a little bit older. But essentially, when this card battles an opponent's monster, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. Also, that opponent's monster has its effects negated during the battle phase only. If this face-up card in its owner's control leaves the battlefield because of an opponent's card effect, target one machine-type monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So, you cannot Raigeki break this thing because it can keep coming back. You cannot Cybernetic Overflow it because it can keep coming back. You have to Karma Cut it or just hit over it. And the thing is if you swing into Samurai Destroyer, it negates everything, and then you can use some of your combat tricks to interact with your opponent, and they can't do anything. So, Samurai Destroyer is nutty, and it's just a rare. Like, I don't understand. And the way that we make Samurai Destroyer, for the most part, is we're going to use Winda to pull out one of our fusions here, and then we use our Whelp. And there you go. Level 7 Synchro. Because Petalfin is a hard thing for a lot of decks to get over. Because 1, it's 2800 defense, and 2, it can't be destroyed by card effects. So sitting on Petalfin is not that bad. until you can get your stuff together. Usually, you know, this is like our other win condition. All right. Now that I bored everyone with the very long tutorial, or actually the very long deck profile, I'm going to put up the deck list that I'm running right now. So the difference here is let's see. I'm running 3 Book of Moon, 2 of the so 3 Book of Moon, and then I'm running 1 World Legacy Clash, and I pulled out the Destruction Swordsman, and then yeah, that was it. So let's go into the replays. I think I have 10 today. So let's go. If I know how to do this, favorite replays. So we'll start at the bottom. Let's just make sure. Okay. Looks like this is like, I've took this over like a week. But right now, since like as a Buster Blader, I guess main, you get really excited when you see like dragons are doing very well, because you have such a good matchup versus dragons. But it also does feel good to win versus the decks that don't have. Oh, okay. So this build is a little bit different as well. So just to clarify, instead of running the World Legacy Clash, I had Raigeki Break and Hatronade, because at this point I didn't put Book of Moon in at all yet. So anyways, we're gonna Hatronade. We have Winda out. We have a Raigeki Break set just to pop anything. We swung in with Winda. We're just going to turn everything to dragons just because we can. Looks like he has Fiendish Chain here. That's fine. I don't really care. We're just going to like sit on our Raigeki Breaks. Looks like we're playing against Satellar. We're going to try to Raigeki Break this thing. He's going to Treacherous Trap Hole. He's going to Treacherous Trap Hole our Winda here. And then we're going to Raigeki Break his other set card, because it being Satellar Knights most likely means that he could... Actually, no. I just want to remove his back row here, just because I can. This could be potentially their Omni Negate, which you'll see it is. So getting out the field is not a bad thing. Alright. So that's like a chain 4 right there. Winda's going to activate. We're just going to bring out Ulti Pelio here. He's going to Endless Trap Hell, which like sucks because he gets he freaking adds his Tretch back to his hand, which is absolute garbage. So we're getting our Buster Blader out. Pretty easy win. You know, we just emblemed, use Ulti Tiger Man. We use Tiger King just to win. Sometimes you just use Tiger King, you know. Man, that first game casting was awful. I need to step my game up. Alright. Versus Blue Eyes. So you have the good matchup here. Like I said in the very beginning, it's not an absolute like you're gonna like dump on them. You do have to open well. You do have to open the fusion. You do have to have Blue Eyes in hand. So like in this build here too. Wow, I was running a bunch of different builds. Okay. Yeah, so I was just kind of experimenting with World Legacy Clash. I ended up settling in World Legacy Clash, but I was running Ultimate Providence for a little while as well. Raigeki Break. Whatever. It's like pretty flex. You got like a couple flex spots. But I ended up settling on Book of Moon. Alright. So essentially here, we open up Whelp, which means we can search the fusion. And then we have Buster Blader. So let's see. I don't know how this replay goes, but we'll see if he quits if he sees that I have Buster Blader in hand. Alright. So we're going to go here. We're going to Whelp. Add fusion. And there you go. It's that easy. Okay. That's funny. Alright. Versus Cyber Dragon, which I would like to say that Cyber Dragon is a really hard matchup for Buster Blader if this is Cyber Dragon. The card sleeves say maybe. All right, so we have actually, you know what, Cyber Dragon isn't too bad because I forgot about Winda. Winda is like such a good stall versus Cyber Dragon unless they make like the big dude. So anyways, we're going to start off. We're going to add Buster Blader to hand here. Obviously, I wish I could normal summon the whelp, but Winda is just going to prevent me from dying. So it is Cyber Dragon. Hopefully no one saw me pick my nose. Alright, so he has the core. He's going to Cybernetic Fusion support, Cyber Style. Most likely he's going to go into his Rampage, because they never make the... I'm guessing he's going to Rampage here because he's assuming that I just set Whelp. So, that's fine. He's going to Rampage Dragon. Swing into our Winda. We're going to use Winda into Winda just to thin out our deck a little bit more. Winda into Pengu here. Pengu cannot die by card effects. So we're going to Buster Whelp here. He's going to Overflow. Blow up our Whelp. We're going to Destruction Sword Fusion here. Because we do have a dragon in hand. And then we can just swing over this this little guy right here. There you go. And that's how you do it. I mean, that's a way to win without Destruction Swordsman Fusion. Or without DNA Surgery. So I'm just going to delete these so that way I can make room for whatever other garbage I decide to show off. Because I always get confused with the replays, and I'm going to try to get in the habit of, like, when I want to do a video, I want to hit 10 replays on, like, whatever deck I want to talk about. So here's another Blue Eyes build. There's a lot of Blue Eyes on the ladder, which, like I said, it's fun. So let's see here. He is running Ultimate Dragons. That's kind of like the new skill here. All right. So we open up Whelp. We have DNA Surgery. The reason why Buster Blader is so good against Dragon decks is because we rely heavily on DNA Surgery. So that takes one card out of the equation that you need to just have our lockdown. So he's gonna draw some cards, make Blue Eyes White Dragon. We're gonna just fusion off right away. It's so funny. He has Karma Cut here. Now I don't really care because I have the Whelp in hand, so I'm just gonna add a Karma to hand here. I'm gonna Karma his stuff just to get it out of there. We're gonna add Fusion back to hand here. Get Buster Blader out. And then he's going to make Spirit Dragon here. We're just going to fuse off with his guy. Just because we can. He is going to banish our fusion spell, unfortunately. But we did force him to burn a Karma Cut. We did draw Forbidden Lance. So that's going to protect our Dragon Destroyer here. He is going to Melody of the Awakening Dragon for Blue Eyes Alternative. He's going to summon Blue Eyes Alternative. Now, this doesn't really do anything because we're just going to put him in defense and negate his effects. And then we're going to get Thick, and we're going to swing over and pierce him in the nuts for 3,300. And that's how we do it, baby. All right. All right, so let's delete that one. Let's see, what does this one say? You say Fudo. I'm assuming Thunder Dragon? Thunder Dragon or Six Samurai. There are some actually little funny utilities that DNA Surgery has versus some decks. So DNA Surgery was really good in, like, if you went first and had DNA... I'm going to pause it here. If you had DNA Surgery going first against Six Samurai, it's pretty annoying because they couldn't make Xian when you would turn their stuff into dragons. Also Shiranui too. They couldn't really do crap. Alright, so this seems like the updated build here. So we went normal summoned Whelp. We added let me see what we added here. We added Destruction Swords Master to hand. Which is fine. So that means we can pull the Buster Blader out next turn if we don't die. Oh no, this is Dinosaur. Oh boy. Okay. So we just banish his Miscellaneousaurus. And yeah, he can't misc out a grave. We're gonna dump the Swordsman for karma. We're gonna swing in over his Raiden. And since we destroyed it by battle, we're just gonna equip Raiden because we can. I do have a World Legacy Clash set and I have a Karma set to banish any of his other garbage. He's gonna Fossil Dig for a Carbonetin. And unfortunately, if you see in the grave here, let's open up his grave. Can I open up his grave while we're paused here? I guess not, but there's a invocation in there, poor guy. So he's going to Psychic Wielder, make Coral Dragon, which I actually... Oh, I couldn't fuse here. I'm an idiot. I was going to say, why didn't I fuse here? But I didn't have any room because I decided to troll. Alright, so we're going to World Legacy Clash to keep our Swordsman alive. He's going to Survival's End for Misc, swing in for 18. And then we're going to activate Whelp's effect here to bring him out of the grave, which is like very rare. We're going to discard our fusion spell. We're going to use Karma to banish a bunch of his dinos and hit him for 3,600 because we like to troll. Very cool deck though. Dinos might be very scary one day. Alright. The BM made it a little bit closer. But we did banish his like if he top decked Tyranno Infinity, like we probably would have been dead for sure. Alright, so it looks like we're playing against everyone's favorite friend, the Hearthstone deck. Alright, so we've got Pot of Greed. Nice. Of all the metas that I've ever played, including like Element Saber Invoked format and Dark Lord format, I gotta say I don't particularly like playing against Desperado. Mostly because of this card. This is not cool. Having 2 Pot of Greeds like that is like, I don't know. It just really bothers me. So anyways, we're going to set Winda here. We're going to set our Book of Moon. We did kind of, like, we don't have the best of hands here because, like, I mean, we do have another Winda. But we did open up, like, this guy and the Fusion. Like, typically we don't want to open these. We want to have Whelp search them to thin the deck out. But, you know, sometimes you don't always get what you want. So we're going to, let's see. He's going to blow up our card. We're going to go Winda. He's going to make a Twin Barrel Dragon here. We're going to just Book of Moon his guy here. He's going to miss. We're going to... Shoot. I'm still like out of it right now. Okay. So we're going to swing over with his... we're going to swing over his guy using our Winda, which triggers the Barrel Dragon, which means he missed again. Oh my god. He missed again. Wow. Lucky. Never lucky. Okay. So essentially, we're kind of screwed here. We do have like double Winda, so we can like, oh my god. This is like triggering me right now, this duel. So Winda's going to activate. We're going to probably pull out Pengu and Tiger King. So we draw the Whelp. Hell yeah. So we draw Whelp. We're going to go Whelp. He's going to head judging us. We call heads. We get tails. Gets negated, unfortunately. Destroys our monster. Not looking good right now. He's going to Cosmic our back row, which is our fusion spell. But his Desperado Barrel Dragon cannot interact with Pengu in any kind of way. So we're just going to sit on Pengu. He has to have exactly Karma Cut. He can't do anything here. He has to get that Karma Cut. We're just going to Emblem for our Buster Blader, thin out the deck a bit. I wonder what his hand is. So this whole time I'm getting really scared because like at any point he could just set a thing. And then we're like pretty screwed. So he's just trying everything he can here. As you can see, like Winda Stall is like super effective. Another Cosmic Cyclone here, banishing our Karma. He's going to Frame Lord Zeta here to try to, I guess, banish our fusion if we get it out. But the plan is, like, since he's out here, we can just fuse off with that Zeta. Alright, we just set World Legacy Clash here. He's just going to keep trying to do stuff. We have DNA Surgery finally. Finally, we draw the DNA Surgery. Okay. And he was just pretty much BMing until, for whatever reason. So we finally draw the Whelp. We finally draw the DNA Surgery. We're going to tribute our Whelp for Buster Blader. We're going to call Tails. We hit it. Get rid of that damn head judging. But he negates our Whelp. Doesn't matter here. We're going to set Fusion. Activate DNA Surgery. Now, Misjudge here, if you are playing against this damn deck, Misjudge is like a mandatory effect. It's a mandatory effect, and so typically what you can do, because it doesn't say destroy here, it just says negate the effect, but continuous effects like Fiendish Chain and the like, they are unaffected. So we activate DNA Surgery at the start of his turn, so that way we can just have Misjudge, activate her effect, and that way we don't have to worry about her negating our fusion. Doesn't matter here. We're going to fuse off his Frame Lord Zeta here. Now we got our big bad boy out. Everything's negated. We're going to dump our Swordmaster to add fusion back to hand here, because we do have Buster Blader in hand, but we just pierce him for 4,200. And that's why the Winda is really good in Buster Blader right now. Unfortunately, you know, I feel like it's kind of like a cop-out, but it works because, like, there's not full support for Buster Blader yet, so we got to do what we got to do. Oh boy, another one of these assholes. Alright, so we have Winda, Forbidden Lance. I mean, just seeing Winda alone is like, at least we're going to be able to stall for a bit. Oh, look, Pot of Greed. Oh, my favorite. He's going to swing in with his Blast Spider. Flip up the Winda. Head Judging comes up. He's going to Blast Spider our guy here. Winda's going to bring out Winda. He's going to Black Salvo. Go into Samurai Destroyer. We're going to flip up that Forbidden Lance before his Samurai Destroyer swings, so our Winda doesn't get negated. Then we're going to go into big old Pengu, baby. Pengu doesn't matter. He's just wasting his coin flips here. Takes 1,600 for his trouble. We're going to go Buster Whelp. He's going to activate Head Judging here. We're going to Karma his stuff just because we can. We call heads, we hit tails, negated and snatched up. He's going to go... let's see what he's doing here. So he tributed for Barrel Dragon here. We're going to use Pengu's effect, I guess, to go into double Winda. We're going to call heads. We hit it. We got the double Winda out. Winda's going to bring out Pengu again. Samurai Destroyer is going to swing into freaking Pengu. Now, one of the things, just so you know, if you are playing Desperado versus this deck here, and you're like stuck, or actually even if you're playing against regular Ritual Beast, if you are stuck on this Petal Fin, because it is pretty hard, one of the things you can do, because like I mentioned earlier with Samurai Destroyer, is that if you swing in with Samurai Destroyer, let its effect go, and before you hit this guy here, you can actually activate Barrel Dragon's effect, since it's a quick effect, and blow all this up, because it'll negate Pengu's effect of being unable to be destroyed by battle. But who knows? I guess he didn't realize that. So this game should have technically been lost. He's going to blast Spider us with Barrel Dragon. So we're going to take a little bit of burn damage or bring out Tiger King here. Tiger King is going to blow up our... Or the Barrel Dragon's going to blow up our Tiger King. We take a good amount of damage here. He's going to just Barrel Dragon again, wasting time. He activates our Destiny Draw here. We just needed to add the Buster Blader to hand. We're just going to go and fuse off his Desperado Barrel Dragon for good measure. I don't care what he adds. It doesn't matter. We're going to Karma. And then we're going to Forbidden Lance our Buster Blader just to for good measure. He has Temperance in hand, which saves him from getting lethaled. We're going to just sit on DNA Surgery Buster Blader. Lock him out from doing anything. He has another Temperance in hand. Saves himself again. We set the World Legacy Clash, so even if he tries to Karma Cut something, doesn't matter. So you see there, now, in this last little bit here, like I said, it was Samurai Destroyer, why he's so underrated. Now, typically, you would have been able to do piercing damage, but because whenever this guy battles a monster, he negates all the monster effects, so that's why he didn't take any piercing damage there. All right. We've got 2 more replays, and then we're going to get out of here. Damn, this is a really long video today. 42 minutes long, Jesus. All right. And I still have to do the freaking... still got to do the damn card review, and then the ban list prediction. It's going to be a long day today. All right, so playing against Ultimate Dragons. Oh, oops. This is Infernity. That's weird. I didn't know I saved an Infernity replay. What is this one? Okay. Looks like this could be the last one. I only have 9 today. And this is why I'm going to start deleting replays after I make a video. So anyways. Is this a Noble Knight? It is. Okay, so he didn't open up the best. Interesting. So he did kind of like, I guess, do an okay job. But we opened up pretty garbage ourselves. Look at this garbage hand. So we're gonna add Buster Blader to hand with no interaction outside of our Forbidden Lances here. We have a pretty terrible hand here. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, so he's going to go bring out his Dristan. Don't know why. I feel like... That's weird. So anyways, he's going to use Ardurfer to hit this set card here. We're going to Forbidden Lance one of his guys. We're going to hit Boris here. He's going to use until Noble Arms is needed once again to bring out his brothers. He's going to go into King Custon here. He's going to Custon bounce. We're going to Forbidden Lance his Custon so we don't die. We could have left a little... We probably could have just let the Lance get bounced so to activate Destiny Draw. But it doesn't matter. We top deck Winda. He's got our Durfer, our Winda. We're going to bring out another Winda. He already used all his bounces off of his Custon. So we're pretty safe here. He's going to activate Noble Arms to make his Madrat a level 5 to go into Argatorius. Argatorius is going to blow up our Winda. We're going to bring out another one. Winda is going to go into Big Pengu. And Big Pengu says, I am immune to everything. So we're just going to sit here and we're going to set World Legacy Clash. Very interactive gameplay here. This is essentially the correct way to play Buster Blader, is that you just sit on walls until you're ready to kill them. Alright, so we're going to Whelp for our fusion spell here. Go into Samurai Destroyer. We do have a World Legacy Clash set. We have a Book of Moon set. He's going to Floodgate us. We're going to activate World Legacy Clash to protect our Samurai Destroyer. Bring back Samurai Destroyer here. Like I said, you cannot kill me, my guy. Gwen doesn't work either because it's technically a monster effect, so that's why the damage step stuff doesn't work. We're gonna swing over now. Oh, something. Even though this is a Buster Blade deck, I feel like I'm just doing a showcase for Samurai Destroyer. One of the things Samurai Destroyer is not good against is some continuous effects like equips here. They sometimes still don't. They sometimes will still work. I remember like if you would swing into like Sun Saga, or is it Samurai Saga? The big old level 10 synchro for Shiranui. He'll still be able to protect himself even through Samurai Destroyer. Same thing with like Neos Fusion. So it's just like certain, like, I want to say like Yu-Gi-Oh is a weird game where like you read something and it doesn't really like always mean that. So just kind of like a heads up with Samurai Destroyer, even though this is a Buster Blader deck. So we're going to Book of Moon as Merlin so he can't activate any other players. We're going to get rid of his Custon here. We're going to banish a bunch of his garbage in his deck, add it to Buster Blader just because we can. Custon's effect doesn't go off because we negated it with Samurai Destroyer. We swing over that Merlin. We're going to use Samurai Destroyer here. Now, all his stuff is negated here. So we're going to World Legacy Clash to drop this Merlin to 0 attack, and then, which is exact lethal, baby. And we beat Noble Knights without using DNA Surgery. DNA Surgery would have locked him out of equipping monsters, being able to equip to his monsters, which is like very important for the deck. So yeah. I mean, he could still make like Custard and bounce it, but you know, we both open pretty shit. I think I opened way more shit than he did, but that's gonna be it for the duels today. So like I said, over there on the top, I think, let me look at OBS before I do this. Over there on that side is the build I'm running right now. But thinking about it now, I feel like maybe it might be more ideal to keep the credit card cards in here, right? And then we cut these guys. And maybe adding like something, let's see. I don't know how this would work. But something like maybe like double Dark Core. Boom. Boom. Right there. I'll probably try this build out. Just remove a monster. This seems pretty dope to me. All right. Well, anyways, you guys enjoyed the rest of your day. I'm going to take a nap and then do the ban list review, do the new box review because I haven't done that in a while. And I'll see you in the next video.